Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel, here at commaik. For about a year, we have been able to enjoy our inflatable hot tub, the MSpa Alpine, extensively tested. Now it is time to provide feedback regarding the use for maintenance, electricity costs, and water quality. If you want to know what conclusion I can draw, then stay tuned. It will start shortly. The hot tub is designed for 4 people and is also sold under the name MSpa Takepo. The square side length is 158 cm x 158 cm with a side height of 68 cm. The interior dimensions are 118 cm x 118 cm x 68 cm in height. The filling height is limited to approximately 45 cm. A total of 650 liters of water can be filled. The inflatable hot tub is relatively compactly built. The pump, heating technology and bubbling technology are located in one of the side walls, built in and permanently connected to the pool. Therefore, there is no external filter. The water is sucked in from the inside through an opening in the wall, pumped through the heating element, and pumped back into the pool through a second hole. In front of the inlet opening, the cartridge filter installed. The power supply is provided via a 220V Schuko plug. Has its own circuit breaker. The risk of short circuits from water contact thus significantly reduced. The pool can be inflated within a few minutes using the integrated inflation function. It can be set up in minutes. All that is needed is a power connection. A protective cover, which is equipped with child-safe quick-release fasteners, is stretched over the pool and reliably protects the water from contamination. The inflatable hot tub was designed for the SPA, area acquired in the basement and operated there from autumn to early summer. Only, during the summer months, the pool was set up in the garden. After 3 months in the sunny garden, I could not notice any fading, especially at the transition from the cover top to the... I would have definitely noticed that with the hot tub. The UV protection seems to be working, especially for regular users in outdoor areas, plays a significant role. One disadvantage is, in my opinion, however, the increased dirt entry into the water is an issue. Despite showering before bathing in the MSpa Alpine, there were significantly more dirt particles and dust in the water than was the case when using it in the basement. This should not be underestimated when it comes to water quality or the cleanliness of the water. The cover has reliably protected the hot tub. This could be seen in the deposits on the cover are clearly visible, which brings me to another feature. The tarp sags in the middle and dirt collects there with the rainwater. It's not so easy to remove the cover by yourself in such a way that the dirty water doesn't spill, is poured into the pool. It requires at least 2 people, provided that the hot tub, if it is under an additional roof, that should not be a problem. During the summer, the outdoor temperatures in the past year 2021 were rather moderate. The maximum of around 30 degrees on some days is well below the target mark of 38 degrees for the pool water. To my surprise, the black pool, despite being in the sun, not heated. I would have expected a greenhouse effect due to the dark color and the cover, and thus significantly higher temperatures of the water. In practice, the water temperature was, even on a sunny day, just slightly above the outside temperature. Those who prefer it warmer will find we had to turn on the heating. For about 9 months of the year, we used the MSpa Alpine indoors, more specifically in the basement of the house. For the transport between the setup locations, it is necessary. You actually need at least 2 people since the pool is quite bulky and heavy. The basement space has a size of approximately 20 square meters with a height of 2.30 meters. The walls are solid, bricked and treated with special plaster and paints for damp rooms. The floor is tiled, which has proven to be particularly advantageous when emptying the pool. Since the basement has its own heating system and is perfectly insulated by the approximately 60 to 80 cm thick walls, room climate in winter at around 10 degrees C and in summer at up to 15 degrees C is relatively constant. However, also suboptimal for the operation of a hot tub. Keyword condensate and mold. A problem with. However, we did not get any mold even though I would have expected that in winter. Heated the room to about 20 degrees C with our blade infrared heater before use, and after the SPA it should be well ventilated. Nevertheless, one should be aware that the pool, at a water temperature of 38 degrees, a significant amount of water vapor is generated through evaporation. This moisture must be removed or compensated for, otherwise mold formation is inevitable. A very important metric for us when purchasing the pool was the expected electricity consumption. The pool holds 650 liters of water that need to be cleaned and heated. The bubbling function of the hot tubs are of course mandatory. All of this consumes electricity. As mentioned earlier, it is supplied, the power supply, via a 220V Schuko plug with integrated short-circuit protection, with a maximum power consumption of 2.1, 2.2 kW, pump plus heating plus bubbles simultaneously, depends on the pool. A circuit with a 16A fuse and a 30 mA residual current device, RCD. Throughout the entire, there were no technical problems during use. The performance data of the electrical components read on paper as follows. The pump has a power consumption of 35 W in filter operation. The heating is 1.5 kBau and the bubbling function another 600 watts. While heating and bubbles can be manually turned on and off via the wired remote control. The filter operation is practically always active. As long as the power is on, the water will be 4 hours pumped through the filter for 1 hour to ensure water quality. The electricity meter was able to measure an average of approximately 1420 to 1450 watts for the heating function. The bubbling function draws 637 W from the socket, and the filtration function consumes 29 W. In total, the MSpa Alpine hot tub is therefore more economical than it is officially stated. How does this affect how does it perform in continuous operation over a longer period? For this, I have conducted 4 test series, recorded 2 test series in heating mode and 2 test series in standby filter mode. 1. 5. The test series should measure the consumption while maintaining the temperature. Despite this, we are monitoring our electricity. I assume an electricity price of 0.30 EUR through a PV system to ensure comparability. Ensure. The room temperature was between 10 degrees C and 12 degrees C for each test. The first test series, 125. The runtime had a total consumption of 0.869 kWh. This corresponds to 0.007 kWh. In the second test series, the setup ran for 212 hours with a total consumption of 1.383 kWh. This also corresponds to a consumption of 0.07 kWh. The pump runs every 4 hours for 1 hour to circulate the water through the press the filter. The costs would thus amount to 5 cents per day or 150 EUR per month. Since a water filling is charged at approximately 4 EUR with us, this corresponds to a price of 6 EUR for a cubic meter of tap water, so it can definitely be cheaper to continue using the water filtering instead of emptying and refilling the pool. 2. Test series, heating the pool water from 11 degrees to the desired temperature of 38 degrees. With a runtime of 19 hours, the total energy consumption was 25,161 kilowatts. This corresponds to 1.361 kilowatts H. In a second test run, the whole process took 14 hours, lasted with a total consumption of 21.985 kWh. This corresponds to a consumption of 1.570 kWh. Due to the long heating times, I was unable to take the measurement upon reaching the stop at a water temperature of 38 degrees. Both values thus also include the consumption values for the filter function, and maintaining the temperature after this was achieved. In practice, however, this is of secondary importance as my focus in the calculation is on the actual costs incurred. The costs per heating process thus amount to between 6 and 8 EUR. I ran the pool for 25 hours and set the temperature in automatic mode to set to 38 degrees C. The total consumption amounted to 7.733 kWh, which is equivalent to 0.309 kWh. At a room temperature of around 12 degrees Celsius, the inflatable MSpa Alpine hot tub loses approximately 10 degrees Celsius per day. Once the pool has been heated to 38 degrees, The electricity costs are approximately 230 EUR per day to maintain the temperature. Since the heating adjusts automatically, it can... So, on planned bathing days, it makes sense to keep the MSpa Alpine hot tub permanently at 38 degrees Celsius. We have been using the MSpa Alpine hot tub every weekend during the winter months. The water was heated up a day in advance. The electricity costs amounted to nearly 10 EUR per week, 40 EUR per month to book. In addition to the electricity costs, maintaining clean water, of course, there are additional costs. In addition to the pure water costs, there are also the expenses for water treatment. I calculate with our water supplier at 6 EUR per cubic meter, tap water. It includes fresh water, wastewater, rainwater fees, and a basic fee. Filling it with 650 liters cost me just under 4 EUR. When the pool was in the garden, the water significantly dirtier and a water change thus more frequent. If the pool is only used as an expensive, if a wading pool is used, a water change once a month is probably sufficient. However, for anyone who wants to relax in a SPA Whirlpool and values clean water, must ensure regular maintenance. Water changes are not to be taken lightly. However, in my experience, the change intervals can be adjusted. A thorough shower before entering the pool should be significantly extended. Furthermore, the use of sunscreen, skin protectants or care oils should be avoided. The cartridge filter has not managed to remove the oil film from the care creams to clean the water surface. When the bubbling function is activated, a rough foam on the water. It gets even worse, by the way, if you use shampoo before bathing or has rinsed off in the shower. Water purification is primarily carried out by the cartridge filter. This reliably filters the suspended particles from the water. However, it is not capable to filter dirt from the water's surface. The suction is simply too weak for that. The filter can be easily removed. I have rinsed it regularly under hot water. At some point, however, a replacement filter will be due. Behind the cartridge filter, there is still a coarse one, sieve in the wall of the inflatable pool. During my monthly cleaning, I was also able to... Here, some hair is removed. The cartridge filter does not work 100% reliably. By the way, I would like to mention at this point that my initial concerns regarding the design and the position of the filter has not been confirmed. The filter extends approximately 10 centimeters into the pool. So far, he has not been disturbed even once while swimming. In addition to the filter, I rely on a water treatment with chlor tablets. Initially, I had a 200-gram multi-tab from the large pool. I placed a floating chlorinator. Despite the smallest setting, I had to adjust the tablet. After 2 days, as the smell of fresh chlorine was noticeable in the water. Therefore, I am switched to 20-degree multi-tabs. I have also set them to the smallest level of the doser. Left in the pool. Through the regular circulation of the water, the chlorine has distributed well, and I could not detect any bleaching in the pool, although the dispenser had a preference for the right corner next to the filter outlet had. When using the inflatable Whirlpool with the use of the 20-degree tabs, I was also able to eliminate pool odors in the SPA area to determine the water quality was consistently in order. By the way, now would be just the right time. It's time to hit the like button and give me a subscription if you like my video. Take a look, but also check the description under the video. There you will find the links to the products that I use it myself, and of course, also for the pool and the materials that I show you in this video. Now I would like to share some practical experiences with the inflatable Whirlpool. The Whirlpool is functioning perfectly. The spa offers a water temperature of an optimal relaxation at 38 degrees Celsius. The maximum heating power is indicated at 42 degrees Celsius, which we with the integrated thermometer could also be measured. To further enhance the SPA experience, one can rely on various accessories. In addition to neck supports for the wall, there are also cup holders and special radios. Due to our facilities, we are not limited to a drink holder was assigned to the radio. However, the neck support was initially planned. After some bathing sessions, it became clear that a separate neck support is not necessary. Lying in the corner, the head can be comfortably placed on the edge of the pool, and that with my Height of 185 cm. To make the ground under the pool softer, we have a ground mat designed. Although the floor area of the pool is slightly thicker, the additional mats greatly increase comfort. One should be aware that this pool requires a permanent setup. A storage space or setup area is required. Due to its size and weight, the pool is quite bulky and heavy. Therefore, regular setup and takedown is not very practical. Over time, the inflatable hot tub loses air. The walls sag downwards, and when touched, the loss of pressure is clearly noticeable. Nevertheless, the tub remains shape stable and there was no failure. Thanks to the integrated inflation function, the hot tub is ready to use in no time. Inflated. Nevertheless, one should regularly check the air pressure. Somewhat more complicated, the water change has been demonstrated. The pool has a drain at the bottom, which is operated by a simple mechanism. The plug is secured. The other end of the drain is located under the technical wall of the Gardena pools and is secured with a screw cap. This area is relatively built up and difficult to accessible. When I wanted to unscrew the extremely tightly fitted cap, access at this point was difficult. The tight space makes it difficult for me and my large hands. As soon as the cap was removed, an included adapter can be screwed onto the Gardena quick connector system. Thus, a garden hose can be easily connected to the pool. Due to the narrow access, however, one should definitely ensure that the coupling is securely connected. Otherwise, it will leak. A part of the water flows directly past the pool onto the ground. I drained the old water through the hose, directly discharged into the drain. The old water from the pool can thus be reduced to a water level, drained by about 2 to 3 cm. Unfortunately, the permanently installed plug is located on the inside, regularly over the drain. This has significantly delayed the water drainage. Also, the emptying. The last 2 to 3 cm is not easy. I have the pool on the opposite side. Lifted and thus lowered the water level to below 1 cm. In the garden, we then set up the pool, turned over and could dry completely. In the basement, this is not possible. Here, it can. The residual water and dirt can simply be wiped out. To get the water into the pool, to refill, the hose can be hung directly over the edge of the tub or over the drain. Will be connected. I ultimately decided on the second option because the hose was already assembled. If you connect the hose down here, make sure that the pipe between the cap and the plug has water on the inside. When I check this, opening the cap will cause some of the water to leak out, even with the plug closed in the pool. Not much, but still annoying. I will now come to the conclusion and the end of this video. The pool performs his job just as we expected. The energy and water costs are a little under our plans. In the garden, I would not use the pool permanently, as having a large pool and the entry of dirt into this small hot tub should not be underestimated. However, it fits perfectly for the spa area in the basement. However, a suitable one should be considered. The ventilation concept must be taken into account due to water loss and water vapor, especially in the bubbling function should not be underestimated. I am just not 100% satisfied with the filter. The cartridge reliably cleans the water, but the pool lacks the immediate performance to vacuum surface dirt into the filter. Dirt particles therefore float on the surface. The surface and the bottom of the pool are very clean in the middle. Based on my experiences regarding our sand filter system, which I operate with filter glass by the way, I am somewhat disappointed. If space in the basement had allowed it, an inflatable hot tub would have been possible. An external sand filter might have been the better choice. This leaves a minimal deficit, but we can live well with it. What are your experiences? Do you also use an inflatable hot tub in the basement? How are the costs for you? Write to me under this video. Comment and give me feedback on my video. If you want to know more, write to me. Also in the comments, don't forget to give me a like if you enjoyed this video. And of course, I appreciate your subscription to my channel. Check below the video for more information. Description. There I link you to the products I use. By purchasing through my links, you have no extra costs and I can also finance my channel in this way. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to the next time. Until then, ciao.